Welcome back to the Sport Capital here on CTV. We are talking Dragon Boat, and particularly one association is doing their best to push the sport. Guess where? In the northeastern part of Trinidad and Tobago, where the northeast trade winds make the waters particularly rough. How are they doing this? We will find out from members of the Northeastern Dragon Boaters Association. Of course, we have Ms. Shalona Shallow, and to the immediate right there, in conjunction with the U.S. Embassy for a very special program, we have Mr. Weeks, who is on set. Good morning to you guys both, and welcome.
Good morning.
We'll start with you, Shalona. The northeastern region of Trinidad and Tobago. We know Dragon Boat is a sport where people like the waters to be as calm and as flat as possible. Yeah. How do you all manage in Trinidad's northeast?
Well, actually, we are not in the sea. We are actually in the river, where it's calmer. This association really started as an initiative by the founder of the association, Mr. Randolph Cato. We were part of the National Dragon Boat Racing Program in 2011, and many of the paddlers from that program were from Toco, Sangre Grande, Matura, and so on, and they had specific challenges in terms of accessing trainings in West Trinidad. So we got together and we decided to bring dragon boating to the northeast. We acquired a dragon boat or two, and we took it up to Silibia River, where you would find us every Sunday morning paddling in the river in much more calmer waters.
Since the establishment of this association, what sort of response or what sort of development has Dragon Boat seen in that region?
Well, amazingly, everyone is extremely excited about paddling in the river. The elderly persons in the community will tell you that paddling in the river was something that they used to do a long time ago, and then for some reason the young people didn't really take it up anymore. But when they finally saw the dragon boat, they were amazed that we were actually going to, reintroduce some kind of community-based sport in that particular part of the region. So there was a lot of interest among the Northeast schools, Northeastern College, Guayco Secondary, Matura Police Youth Club, and a whole lot of schools are asking us now to, get their students involved in sport and so on, outside of the normal cricket and football that we all know about.
Great. Now, this particular interview is supposed to center around something that you guys have happening, a coaching, fundamentals of coaching clinic that is being put on in conjunction with the U.S. Embassy. Tell us about that. What brought it about? What is the need for this, not just in the northeastern region, but in Trinidad and Tobago as Dragon Boat continues to grow as a sport?
Well, our vision for Dragon Boat racing, particularly in Northeast, is the fact that presently there are no certified Dragon Boat racing coaches, and we wanted to increase the technical capacity of not only the association, but also the competencies of our paddlers and our volunteer coaches. So I got online and did some research and started looking around outside of the region for persons who can come into the Northeast in particular and really train our coaches and develop them to a point where they are able to produce teams that can compete both locally and internationally. So I contacted the United States Dragon Boating Federation, and they put me onto a really knowledgeable facilitator. Her name is Connie Flisouras. She has over 20 years experience, and she's a woman, big up to women in dragon boat racing. She is a woman who is really competent. She has a wide range of knowledge in all aspects of the sport: coaching, paddling, drumming, club management, team management. So she was the ideal candidate to support the needs of the association and also the needs of the community in the Northeast region.
Right, and of course you managed to make that whole link through the U.S. Embassy. Mr. Weeks is a representative from the embassy. Tell us about your role and the embassy's, I guess, whole willingness to support initiatives like this. Because prior to this interview, I didn't even know that that teams or organizations could approach the U.S. Embassy for things like this.
Of course. I mean, we like to do a lot of different cultural and educational programmings. Sports programming is part of that. This was a grant that Shalana really was the driving force behind, and she convinced me that, first of all, that there was a great need to provide the training so that the coaches could get certified. But then also, when I talked to Connie Flisouras, I was really impressed with the ability that she had, the expertise she had in dragon boating, but also the community outreach part, because she talked to me about what she was going to teach in terms of team building, in terms of cooperation, in terms of life skills for these kids and their coaches, and I thought that that's really something that we wanted to get behind. I think it shows the diversity of Trinidadian culture, that something like dragon boating is so big here, but it also shows the diversity of American culture, that you could get an expert in dragon boating from the U.S. who could come here and spend some time. So we're very happy to support this program.
Now tell us a little bit about the details of the program. When does it actually begin and when does it end? Some days that even if you're not currently active in dragon boat or not particularly interested, what can you gain from if you take the chance, I guess, to come out and see the activity?
Well, actually, our program participants have already been identified. We have 21 coaches, the majority of them being from the Northeast. They are going to be partaking in a 6-day intensive classroom training and practical program for the coaches. And that starts on Tuesday, 9th December and ends on Sunday, 14th December. But also within that week, there's also a 2-day exciting paddling clinic for the younger coaches, the younger paddlers, for persons aging from 10 years to as old as 18 years of age. And they are also going to be introduced to dragon boating for the first time. Some of them may probably never went into a dragon boat before. And primarily that paddling clinic is targeting persons in the schools in the Northeastern District. So it's really a 2-part program that's happening over a 6-day period.
Right. Okay.
And at the end of that, post-training, the coaches are going to be encouraged to do some follow-up assessment where they will actually get formal certification as a level 1 coach affiliated with the United States Dragon Boating Federation, which is extremely important. Because if these young people want to go on to do coaching elsewhere, they have this certificate that would allow them to get that opportunity.
Okay. So I guess out of the entire program, you have your coaches already selected, you have your schools, etc., associated with the program. Where do you see, I guess, dragon boat getting to maybe in the next year, 2 years, even 5 years down the road, as it pertains to like clubs establishing themselves in that northeastern region?
Well, for one, we definitely will see an increase in the number of schools partaking at the secondary school dragon boat racing regattas. That's held once a year.
Right.
Also, whenever there's a call out for national athletes, our Northeast budding paddlers will be able to access the opportunity to make a national team and also develop additional clubs as well that can go abroad and participate in international dragon boat racing regattas. So we do see a lot of development and growth for dragon boating. Dragon boating is in the west, it's in the south, it's in Tobago, and now it's in the northeast.
It's in the northeast. Excellent. I mean, and we have a very enthusiastic dragon boater among us, Ken Fuentes, and he has sort of been what's the correct word? Trying to influence us here at CTV to pick up the sport, and maybe now with a more scenic venue in the northeast on the Columbia River, some of us just might be inclined to visit you guys there and see what it's all about. But just before we close quickly, what are some of the challenges that you face coming from the northeast? Of course, distance might be one, which you're trying to rectify by getting people qualified. But what are some of the other challenges that you might face in that region?
Well, challenges we're facing right now is a permanent home for our association. I mean, we're on the bank, on the river, on the bank kind of thing. But we really want a space that would allow us, when our program expands, that we have the resources available there, the infrastructure there that would allow for that expansion. Right. We would also like to have additional equipment, additional boats, because we're talking over 20 schools just in that region alone. And could you imagine 20 club teams at different age levels, different genders? I mean, we could well host an international regatta ourselves just in the northeast. Yeah. So, I mean, it will become a challenge, when the sport grows and when it develops. So, I mean, if it is the powers that be are willing to support the Northeastern Dragon Boaters Association, they can call us at 772-7787, or they can email us at northeastdragonboaters@gmail.com, and we can have a conversation about how they can support our programs and the communities that we serve in the Northeast.
Excellent. There you have it. All the information you need to know regarding dragon boat in Trinidad and Tobago, or Trinidad's Northeast. It's a growing sport, and of course we at CTV will do our best to help them achieve their goals. That's it for the Sport Capital program for today, Sunday, November 30th. On behalf of all the team, of course, Ruskin Mark, who is out of office these days, Larry Lumsden, who hosted the Political Capital earlier, we want to bid you a very, very enjoyable Sunday. Do be safe.